energy is always a factor sometimes. So we'll be looking forward to having a jam-packed show today. We have picture-in-picture all throughout the broadcast, live with us in person. We're going to have some amazing, amazing guests. We're going to start the show off here with Shawn Peake and Maximo Santos of the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse's baseball team, coming off of their first ever win as a program. This is the inaugural season, a few games in, and they have their first victory. So we're celebrating with a special Bobcat Buzz, which is exclusive to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our multimedia marketing partnership with the school itself at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. Then right after that, around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we'll be joined by Scott Landers of Oswego State Baseball. The Lakers head coach will tell me about his season thus far, and we'll have fun as we always do. And then at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I'll be joined by the Director of Athletics at UNC Charlotte as they get set to join the American Athletic Conference in, believe it or not, folks, just a couple months here, about 3 months or so away. And they're coming off of a national championship in the CBI for men's basketball, so we'll discuss that with Mike Hill and more. And we'll round out the show with a very special Dolphin Dive, diving into the stories of Max Parker and Benji Ries of the Moyne College Dolphins baseball team. So a lot of great stuff coming up, a lot of great people to see on camera, and we appreciate you being here with us on youtube.com and facebook.com/wakeupcalldt and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. In international, that's the cool thing about this. Some things are not allowed in international waters. Wake Up Call is. So with that being said, we bring in the gentlemen here, and very happy to have them picture in picture with us as we start off today's broadcast inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. So with that being stated here, we have the opportunity to hang out with the Bobcats of Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Doing really good, Dan. How are you, man?
Doing well, and happy to have you guys here. Maximo, this is your debut on Wake Up Call, so how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing good. Doing good.
Now, Maximo, this win, to be a part of it, there's never been a victory in Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse baseball history. There's never been a season of baseball at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. To be a part of the first ever team, first roster, and first win means what to you?
Man, it means a lot of things, man, because it's also, my first year playing college baseball too, so it really means a lot to me because, we've been working hard for this and it finally came true.
Why do you think the team finally figured it out and got a victory?
Everybody was doing their job, was hitting, we're playing good defense, and everybody was focused on that.
And for you, Shawn, I mean, you see this first victory come to fruition. I know you've been fighting for it, and you said, this is the inaugural season. Of course, you want to win, but you understand that there's going to be adversity and things that happen. Bring me into your reaction on the field the moment that this happened.
Complete relief. Complete relief, finally. Finally we did it. We put it all together. Having my dad in the dugout with me, looking over at my mom. She's got, taking pictures, cheering for us. And that was kind of, looking at this guy being like, hell yeah, we finally did it, buddy. We finally did it. It was super, super emotional, and just it was awesome to see these guys just be able to finally put something together and really get it done.
When it comes together like this and you get this victory, do you feel that, weight off the shoulder? Do you feel kind of maybe a little bit looser this morning when you get ready to go to practice?
A little bit, but we still have a lot of work to do. We got beat again in game 2 after getting the victory. So there's still growing pains that we're going to go through. We still got a lot to learn. We still have a lot of things to do. So I don't think I'm there yet. I think I'll be there someday, but right now it's back to the grind a little bit.
Yeah, and getting back to the grind, getting back into it. Maximo, what do you love about this team? Like you said, this is your first time playing, baseball collegiately. So why was Syracuse, Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, why was it the right fit for you?
It was a new program, We was gonna start doing new things. It was gonna be something really different for me, because when I came here from the Dominican Republic, when I played in high school, it was a lot different because we already had like a big team, and now that I just went to another, take another step with basically nobody, and I mean, it means a lot. That's all I can say. But it was gonna be hard, but we did it.
We did it. Danny,
Hindsight.
he's been here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Max has been here with us since day one. He was only here since a couple months after I was as well.
Yeah.
He's one of my first guys that's been here, so he's been through the grind with me. So this has been a little bit more special for both of us together as well.
Like you having him since the beginning of the beginning. What has that done for your bond with him, Shawn, and just what it's meant. To have somebody that's really been there with you from like the first steps of this program.
That's my boy for life. That's my boy for life. We always talk about that. That's my boy for life, forever, always. We mean a lot to each other. I feel that. Yeah, we really do.
And what I love to see is the fact that you celebrate that, right? Some coaches just kind of sit, and even if they enjoy it, it's kind of like looking at a mannequin. You just grab Maximo and said like, this is my guy, and you're emotional and you're letting him see that. Maximo, what do you like about that you have a coach that shows you emotion, that appreciates you, and that really, takes the time to celebrate you?
I mean, that gives me a lot of confidence. Because, I know that there's some things that I'm probably gonna be like shy to do, and I can just look for him and ask him about things, and I know that I'm gonna get the right answer.
For you, Shawn, this moment in history for the team, not just the victory, but getting these games and playing them. I was talking with you about finding a field, putting the schedule together, figuring out what you need, getting your jerseys and whatnot, which I still don't have one. So,
Yo, trust me. Yeah, something's in the works. I got an idea what we got going on, but hey, let's get this season figured out and let me get through this thing first. We got you.
No, you're good. Focus on the task at hand. But I just want Maximo to know that I asked for the jersey before the season started. So let's just be clear about that. But the reality here is, outside of just getting the victory, you've been able to play these games. You've been able to see your team. I know that this has been a passion project for a long time. So even when the team loses, are you finding worth in the fact that like you're just happy to be on the field?
Absolutely. Just seeing these guys, how passionate, how close they are. How close they are. Just saying every single time, really, every time we talk, I tell you how closer and closer and closer I really think we get.
Yeah.
And watching these guys every day, just the bond, that's a special part, really, having all that and everything done now, and everything that they've done now that we got one finally. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. To see what they have going on and continue to build on what they do. And every single day I'm seeing positives, moving forward every single time. And that's all I can really ask for.
Maximo, who on the team pushes you the most? Who do you think is the toughest to, in practice? Who's the one that really gets you?
Probably my teammate Bryant. He's my roommate too. So we've been together for a long time now. Okay. And it's just something that we become, competitive to each other.
When you get out there on the field, do you have a special thing that you do warm-up wise? Do you have a superstition? Do you have something that you have to do before every game?
I always pray before the game. For the game, practice, before I get on the field, I always pray.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because, Shawn knows that faith is very important to me, and I love when people share that. Why is faith so important to you, Maximo?
My family. I came from my religion family, and it's in my blood now, I feel that I got to do it every time. When I wake up, before I go to sleep, just anything I do, I have, God by my side.
And coming from the Dominican Republic, obviously you're a far way away from home. What about Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse feels like home?
It feels good. It feels good, because I'm from the city here in New York, but it feels like it's not the same, but when you got like good people around you, then it feels a lot better.
Do you cook? Have you made Shawn some good food? Because let me
Yo, I always ask him. I always ask him.
Not for him, but for my team, yeah.
See, because this is the thing, Maximo. This is the issue that I have here. The issue that I have is that, and I'm not going to say the names because they're not clients, so I'll call them something else that rhymes with it. But people ask me, because I'm part Italian, part Hispanic. People ask me, what's more authentic, schmoes or schmapotle? And I say neither. So, if you want like really good food, you either have to make it or you have to find a place that is dedicated to it. Have you found a place to eat that you like? Because I do have a place that I found some good tacos, and I found the best queso I've ever had in Syracuse. I've already found a place finally, but do you have a place you go to?
Mi Casa Grande. It's named My Casa Grande, and a lot of Spanish food.
Okay. Shawn's laughing, so I'm guessing that you go there every day?
No. It's just of course, as soon as they pretty much got here, a lot of them are Dominicans. Yeah. So they found the Dominican restaurant as soon as they possibly could.
Yeah, which is amazing. So, Shawn, how do you celebrate? I know we're in the middle of the season. I know you got to stay focused on the next game. But did you celebrate the win? And if you did, what did you do?
Honestly, nothing too crazy. Just kind of soaked it in, honestly. Yeah. That was really the thing. We got back late after the game, so it wasn't anything too crazy or anything like that. Just kind of went home and kind of soaked it all in, honestly.
How did you soak it in? What did you do?
Honestly, I just went home, watched TV, and just relaxed for once. Relaxed for finally. Just got to sit there and just kind of breathe for a minute and just be like, wow, we actually did it.
And, how did I know you took pictures and whatnot, but what was the team atmosphere like? I know you said you had a game right after, so it was like you won and then you lost, but when you're traveling back, what was it like? What was your message? What was sitting on the bus, what's the conversation afterwards?
Just congratulations. Good for you guys. Continue to build on what we have and what we're going to continue to do. And really just let's use the momentum that, hey, we know how to do it now. We've won a game. We know how to do it. We know how to line up at the end of the game now and then give everybody a high five. And we didn't know how to do that at the beginning of the game on Tuesday, where we have Evan coaching us through, honestly, in the dugout, telling everybody, hey, when you win a game, this is what happens at the end. Outfielders meet, infielders meet, and then everybody goes and meets on the mound. We didn't know how to do that yet. So that's, another thing that this team's just beginning to learn and we'll continue to grow with it.
I love it. I appreciate it. Maximo, final note here from you. If somebody hasn't been out to a Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse game, why should they come see you guys?
Just to give the motivation that we need, just to prove that we can do it, that we can win games and just play good.
Brian was.
Can put a show out there.
What was that?
Now we can put a show out there.
Now, Brian was one of my first guests from this baseball team. Why do you think that I should do a feature with you and not Brian?
I don't know. Because you already, did it with him. So.
What did you say? Because I already did it with him.
Probably you have done it with him.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
He's looking for his time. He's looking for his FaceTime over here.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to get some. He's getting some this morning. He's getting some on the dub. So I know I'm going to get text messages and phone calls and whatnot saying, hey, Dan, I'm happy you guys celebrated the win, but where was my phone call? So I know that. And I'm going to blame Shawn. But no, with that being said, all jokes aside, Maximo Santos, Shawn Peake, congratulations, gentlemen, to you, to the entire team. You know that I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. I look forward to seeing you soon. Maximo, I already talked to Shawn about doing a little roundtable thing, so we got to get that going. But congratulations on the win. I had to have you on to start the show because I could not be more proud. This is history. Like Maximo, I know, Shawn, you know this, but Maximo,
That's
both
what I
of
told
you,
them.
like this is history. This will never happen twice in Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse baseball ever. You got the first program win. You did it together. You gutted it out. You improved during the season. You showed each other what it took to get to where you got to. You never doubted each other, or if you did, you let that go. And you're standing here today with something to build on. So congratulations to you both. Congratulations to the team. And thank you for sharing it with me today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Danny. We appreciate you, buddy. We'll continue to build on this and always have be ready to be on your show after we get another one.
Yeah. So I hope I keep getting those phone calls. That's all I want. So
absolutely.
All right. I'll talk with you guys soon. Have a good day.
Have a good one, man.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. That coming once again from Shawn Peake and Maximo Santos here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're going to take a quick step aside on the broadcast, and we will be back momentarily here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for an opportunity to share with you time with Scott Landers. So Scott Landers is going to be joining the show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we're going to have Scott here from Oswego State Lakers baseball joining the broadcast here where sports meets life this morning. And I'm so very happy to be able to celebrate this time with him, one of my favorite people, not just in the sports world, but in general. Always love having Scott on the broadcast.
Recording
so
in progress.
Him join the show here momentarily so that we can tell the story of Oswego State, which is a story that we have told a lot here on Wake Up Call, and it's always a beautiful thing. It's always a great time. So Scott Landers joining the show in just a moment or two here, and we'll have an opportunity to have him on the broadcast. So always looking forward to having my guy Scott on the broadcast. Oswego State Lakers are not too far away from Central and Upstate New York, and I implore people to go out there and to enjoy the Oswego State Lakers baseball program and really take the time to go out and see them. So with that being said, we'll take a quick step aside for a fast break. We'll be back with Scott right after this. Inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', coming up after this fast break, Scott Landers.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315 487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life, and I am honored and privileged, as always, to have the awesome guests that we get to have on this show. One of them being the wonderful coach, Scott Landers, over at Oswego State for the Lakers baseball program, and off the field, a good friend that I've appreciated for many years here. So Scott is with us picture in picture. One of my favorite messages that I've ever gotten from Scott was this morning when he said, "How do I get on this thing?" So good morning, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So, happy to have you here. Happy to have you on the broadcast. The last time we saw each other, you were with your son at the Dome for a basketball game. So in preparation of this season, and you're doing a lot, you don't really have an off season. You go from baseball to baseball. So, how did you kind of tackle this past Oswego off season as, you've definitely evolved in your career and risen once again in your career to new heights. So how did you kind of balance everything going into the season?
I mean, it's difficult. I go from the spring season at Oswego to the Cape in the summer and then back to fall ball here. But then there's a lot of downtime, from October until January. So it's a lot of that time I try to spend with my kids.
Yeah.
Since I'm gone for here and there, throughout the season. But it's tough. It's a different year for us. We lost a lot coming off of last year's successful team, really successful team. And, we've had some bumps in the road and we're trying. We're getting better every day. And, I think we'll be pretty good at the end when it matters.
And like you said, you have this season where you've lost a lot from the success of last season. I mean, obviously what navigates through that is time, but this, program under you is used to winning a lot. So how do you do that? Because you're not rebuilding. I mean, this is a program that's sustained success, but as you reload, how do you kind of teach through and lead through a reloading of Oswego baseball?
I mean, I think you hit it on the button. I never say rebuild, and it kind of looks like we are rebuilding right now, but no one really looks kind of deep into the numbers. We're 8-11 right now.
Yeah.
We could be 12-8 or 12-7 or whatever it would be. But we have the toughest schedule in the country to this point, so when you're trying to fix things and you have new guys and they're all offensively or positionally, I should say, because our struggles are defensively, it takes time. And when you're playing, the third best team in the country and the ninth best team in the country, there's not a lot of give. When you make a mistake, it's magnified, and that's what we've done to this point. So we had a good weekend against Fredonia this past weekend. I think we're getting some guys in the places we need to. Guys are getting some confidence, and like I said, it's going to take time, and I think by the end of the year we'll be in good shape.
When you go through this, how do you keep a team's focus when those things are happening? Because we live in a society, they call it the microwave society, where, if it takes 4 minutes to heat up soup, after a minute you're stopping it and opening it up saying, is it hot enough now? So how do you teach patience in a world that has become very impatient?
It's tough. I'm in a spot right now in my coaching career that I haven't been in a long time. So it's different for me, but like I tell them, it only matters what happens at the end of the year. So we can't get ourselves in too big of a hole, but we got to keep gaining ground throughout the season, get better and better and better, and the results will come.
when you see the Scott Landers here with us, Oswego State Lakers baseball head coach, what are some of the things that you're seeing at this point in the season, despite the losses that you've had? Where are you seeing growth? Where are you seeing this team start to come together and develop?
I feel like we're getting tougher. I feel like I think the one good thing is when these guys are struggling, they are searching for answers. Sometimes I have the answers, sometimes I don't. But I think us just getting guys in spots that they need to be defensively, a better approach at the plate, and yeah, honestly, I feel like the more we can play inferior competition at this point, the better off. We need confidence, and when you're facing those guys day after day after day, it's taxing, and we're all human, so their confidence kind of goes down the tubes, and we're building it back up. And like I tell them, they're here for a reason, and in this program.
Yeah.
And it's been a program that's been a top 20 team in the country for the past 8 years, so they know that. They like I told them, they have to create their own identity, and I feel like that identity is still out there for us to find.
Is that exciting? When they haven't created their identity, do you find some excitement in saying like, hey, we don't have it yet, so we're searching for it? I mean, can you make the search for the identity? Can you make the journey fun?
Yeah, you can. When you're getting beat, it's not too fun.
Yeah.
But I would say this is the most stressful year I've had in a long, long time. But at the same time, I feel like being optimistic with whether it's on here or with our assistants or whatever, like I feel like by the end of the year, it's going to be the most gratifying.
And we've seen, looking at the schedule, the teams that you've gone up against ranked high in the country, as you were talking about, having these opponents right out of the gate. Pretty much, you had Baldwin Wallace ranked 9th in the country at the time, Shenandoah ranked in the top 24. When you have those games to start the season, and it's not even like 8 games in or 7 games, whatever it may be, 10 games in, that you're already getting that. And I know you had SUNY Cortland a little bit after that in the latter part of March. But when you come out of the gate and you're seeing that type of team, coaching wise, how do you kind of navigate through that, saying that, okay, I'm coming into the season, I know I've lost a lot with just people finishing up their time in school, this is the schedule that we have, like we're going to have a little bit of a gamut right away, because you said this team needs confidence, but as soon as the season started, they were challenged like it was the end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, for me as a coach, I just, like I tell the guys, we don't make excuses. Like we lose, and we're going to take ownership of it. For me as a coach, we got to be ready when we go play those teams. And a lot of times those teams say the same thing about us. Okay, we got to go face Oswego, who's, whatever, 12th in the country or 15th in the country. We have a few more challenges than anybody else. We go into Washington and Jeff, and we beat an All-American the first game, and they're usually a regionally ranked opponent in the top 25, and then we lost to Baldwin Wallace the last game on a walk-off in extras, but for us, it's just you got to learn and you got to grow as we go, and that's what I tell them. Like, make mistakes, make them aggressively. It's going to happen. Deal with failure, but at the same time, we can't let it snowball and we can't lose.
That coming from Scott Landers, Oswego State Lakers head baseball coach here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora this morning. You spoke about losing aggressively. Go a little bit deeper into that, because I find that that's a unique play on words.
I mean, it's a game of failure. you have Hall of Famers that fail at the plate 70% of the time, and um, there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of in between pitches, and it's a long game. And honestly, the focus can lack at times. But um, I I just say, like, if you're going to play passive, you're going to fail anyway. So if we're going to fail, it's going to be aggressive because more often than not, um, that's the way you're going to win and succeed. Whether you're hitting, whether you're throwing strikes, a message to the pitchers really at times is, we always talk about throwing first pitch strikes and first 2 out of 3 and so on and so forth. But again, that comes back with confidence, with them out there. So, but if you give them numbers to back that up, 91% of the time that a pitcher throws a strike, they succeed. I mean, those are pretty good odds. And, if you gave me those odds to win the lottery or, whatever, I'm taking them. So, but they just can't be afraid to fail. And I eliminate me yelling at them for those mistakes. If it's aggressive, it's on me, and we'll talk about it if it's something not very smart, but at the same time, like, we have to play that way, and you have to have that mentality, because if you're passive, you're gonna fail. We got almost 100% of the time.
Do you feel like you recruited the right kids to navigate this adversity? Are you seeing that out of them?
I do. That's a tough question for me to answer right now. This team, I recruited the whole team. So
yeah.
Do I love them as individuals? Yeah. Do we have our flaws? Yes. From number 1 to 36 on the roster, so that's a loaded question. Everybody's like, oh, well, you're young because you lost so much. We're not young. We're not. And we're just inexperienced. So the more they're out there and the more they can gain confidence, the better off they are, but the class that came in, the young guys, I am very excited about. Some are ready to play right now, some aren't, but they all bring a positive attitude to the field every day and work hard, and I've seen dramatic improvements since the fall. So, like I said, that's a loaded question, but I'm not going to trade them for anybody. I'm going to go to battle with them.
I appreciate that, and this is the toughest question of our conversation this morning. Do you like my T-shirt?
It's blurry right now. I can't.
It's blurry. Okay. So it's
the technology you have going on here.
It's the Arizona.
Is it Diamondbacks?
It's a Diamondback shirt with the Avengers around it. So
love it.
It's a linking of that. Now, I want to tell you what I was doing. I just said it to, and by the way, Shawn Peake gives you a shout out and says hello from Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. So he wanted to say hi. He was on earlier here on the show. I had said to him and to Maximo Santos with the Bobcats team that what I was doing last night, you might appreciate as a baseball fan. You know how some people stay up late and it's, you're just kind of like doing whatever. What I was doing past 2:00 this morning was looking up the Arizona Diamondbacks farm system teams and deciding which logos I like and really taking a good hard look at if I can rock an Amarillo Sod Poodles hat or shirt.
And that's what you came up with.
No, so I have this. This is what I've had. But the question is, and I don't know. I know you, obviously you love the sport of baseball and you're watching it and paying attention to it. What do you think about the farm system in the sense of the fact that, there's some teams in AAA where they're like the Syracuse Mets and they're owned by the team, the parent team in the MLB. So they're going to have like a clear-cut name and whatnot. But there's other names that are kind of just off the rails. And I would, between logos and names, what do you think about that? You know, like could Scott Landers one day be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp? You know what I mean? It's just very unique names.
I would say yeah if they paid me, but I like it. I
Yeah.
like the unique style that they've gone with, and I think we've evolved in that sense. Names and uniforms, and I think it brings a little more flair to the game.
Do you feel like I mean, when you go to a single A, double A, triple A game, is this something that, you want to bring your kids to? Do you feel like there's the entertainment value of it, like beyond baseball? Do you feel like it does something special for the sport? Like, do you find that there is a lot of positives as far as what it can bring, not just with somebody trying to get to the majors, but that there's more beyond that has value? Because I see, I don't want to load your question because I know how I see it, but I'd love to get your thoughts, especially as a parent.
Yeah, I do. I just think the more you can attract young individuals, young kids, and keep them focused and excited and occupied. I shouldn't say focused because they're never focused. Occupied. I think it's a great thing. The single A, double A, triple A. I mean that stuff means a lot more to you than it does to me. Just because I'm around it all the time and being in the Cape, those are the players that are going through. So it's exciting for me to watch those guys that I coach go through and but I would say, to answer your question, like anytime I can have my kid who's 9, at a field and entertained, the better, so that's with me as well, whether it's in my dugout at Oswego or, during batting practice. The kid always wants to go through batting practice with the guys, and in the Cape, I think it helps those kids grow in one way, shape, or form.
What does it do for you when you have your 9-year-old there, going through drills and doing different things? I mean, what does that give you as a reward? I mean, I would imagine, and I'm not a father yet, but knowing you for as many years as I have, I would imagine that does something for you and can probably pull you away from any win or any loss, any high or low, to see him go through your batting practice and whatnot.
Yeah, it kind of started in the Cape, and he grew with the sport. I didn't think he was going to play baseball until last year. Honestly, I actually thought he was going to play lacrosse, but he grew to love it, and I think there's a couple things that really I have a lot of respect in. It makes me smile. It makes me excited as a dad. It makes me annoyed when I'm the coach, when he's trying to tell me what to do, but when he's in the dugout. But at the end of the day, he's actually learning the game. And I think for any I shouldn't say just college, but any young kid who has a coach for a parent and can be around not just the game but life, I think they gain so much perspective, and it helps them grow as individuals. There's a lot of things I don't like when he's around 19, 20, 21-year-olds, but that's life lessons. Like, he's got to figure that out, and I got to take that with, the good with the bad, or the bad with the good. But I think it helps him grow up. And the other thing I would say is, and not just my team, but I watch other teams and big time programs, like, it helps the kid, the guys on the team, or if it was a female team, they can grow as individuals with a 9-year-old around. They really can. And the way they treat him, whether it's here in the Cape, has been unbelievable. I give those guys the utmost respect, whether it's in my programs or any other programs. Like I truly think it helps me. As a father, I think it helps him as a son, and I think it helps the student athletes grow.
I love that. Scott Landers here on the show, Oswego State Lakers head baseball coach. Scott, before I let you go, you're always good about answering my questions. We've done this before. We haven't done it in a while, so I'm going to put you on the spot and have some fun with this. 2 questions. You get to ask me anything in the world, and I have to answer them. Go ahead.
Oh, geez. Obviously, the diamond. What's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man. And my favorite anti-hero kind of hero at times is Venom. So.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Here in Syracuse.
Yeah.
I don't know who. Favorite 2 restaurants in Syracuse.
It's so weird. The call dropped. I didn't hear anything that he said. So, but no. Favorite 2 restaurant. I would say, because I just find it to be incredibly different, and I love the food, is 317 at Montgomery. So 317 at Montgomery Street in downtown Syracuse. We partnered up because I met him when he did my dad's retirement party, speaking of Joel Carpenter, and their food is so good. You honestly feel like you're in like when you walk in there, it's a big city feel. It's the music, it's the ambiance, it's the service, it's the food, it's the way the food looks. You feel like you've been transported somewhere else, and the food is so, so good. So I would have to say 317 at Montgomery Street is one of them. And which is, when you and I have a bet and you lose, you can bring me to that one. And then I would say my other one. You know what? I'm probably going to pick a place a little bit outside of Syracuse. In Auburn, I'm going to pick Lasca's, because being Hispanic and Italian, they have red sauce, but the red sauce is not, the traditional marinade, or to people that don't say that, marinara. But it's not your traditional sauce. It's like a spicy red sauce, so and that you dunk the bread in, and it's addicting. So I'd probably, and they give you a ton of food. They give you, like, when you order veal, they give you like 2 massive pieces. They give me more veal on a plate than I think another restaurant would give me in a year if I ordered it weekly. So I would have to say Lasca's because of the food quality, and they give you a lot of food. And I always have, my leftovers always look like I didn't eat anything, which is great because then I get to eat veal for like 3 days. So I'd probably say that. Do you have a favorite restaurant in Syracuse?
I mean, it depends on what you're talking about.
Well, bring me through the gamut.
I mean, if I'm going on a date night,
Yeah.
I would probably say Francesca's.
Good call. All right.
Love Francesca's. I would say if it's just a chill night and just go have dinner and hanging out, I would say I really like Brian's Landing in Jamesville. I'm kind of partial from over here. If I'm going to eat chicken wings, which I do a lot, I mean, I like Swallow's chicken wings probably the best.
Okay. All right.
Other side of town.
What do you put on the chicken wings? What's your sauce?
I like them spicy. I like them hot.
Okay. I got a place for you. Salt City Kitchen and Catering had me try their new hot sauce. I'm very proud of my body's reaction because I handled it better than everybody else in the room that day. So, but they were hot. They were hot. That sauce was hot. Salt City Kitchen and Catering. It's the old Patsy's Pizza. And they were testing the sauce, so they didn't put it on anything. I just straight up tried the sauce. And it was like minutes later, the peppers like hit in the back of your throat, and you're like, damn. So like, but yeah, it was good. It was good. If you like hot wings.
Okay.
So
I feel like I got to give a shout out in Oswego since, up there I would go to Canales. I hear the new rooftop restaurant's really good.
Okay.
Very, very good. I've heard. Again, if I'm just going to go chill and hang out, I would probably go over to the press box. So,
Yeah, you and I have eaten over there before.
yep.
So with that being said, Scott Landers, starting with the season, ending with food, makes sense. So with that being said, here, Oswego State Lakers head baseball coach, your final word, Scott, on this season. Why should people come out and see the team, support the team? What is it about this season, adversity and all, because every season has adversity, what about this season do you think would be special for people to see?
I mean, they're good athletes. They're good baseball players. We just got to get it right. And more importantly, I would say 1 through 36, they're a great bunch of dudes, great bunch of student athletes. Personally, like to have fun, and work hard. So, we would enjoy anybody that wants to come watch us. We got a bunch of games after this week coming up at home. We would love to see anybody come out and support us. We kind of need it at this point.
Yeah.
But
the positive support of the community. Listen, you put together a fantastic program. You've done a lot of incredible work. I'm proud to know you as a human being, and then also as a coach. I appreciate everything that you do. So thank you for being you, Scott, and thanks for the positivity. I also like the fact, because people normally see Scott's stern face, I have made this man laugh multiple times, and that makes me happy. So I love the fact that I can get that out of him. So with that being said, I look forward to talking with you soon, brother, and I appreciate you very much.
hey, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Take care.
You too.
Thank you. That coming from Scott Landers here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. And we appreciate having Scott here with us every season for many, many years now. And we'll look forward to having him back again sometime soon. That'll be coming up right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. We will have the opportunity to welcome my very special guest to the broadcast. It's going to start off hour number 2, that being Mike Hill, the Director of Athletics at the UNC Charlotte for the 49ers show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So, coming up here in just a few moments, we will have the opportunity of spending some time with Mike Hill, the Director of Athletics at UNC Charlotte, will be joining us right after this message, these messages, I should say, from our fantastic partners in Central and Upstate New York. Stay with us. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to K9 Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. This is a special message from 317 at Montgomery restaurant owner Joel Carpenter. Open Tuesday through Saturday for your dining pleasure on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York.
We wanted to be a part of the resurgence of Syracuse. We saw a lot of money being put into bringing people back downtown and thought that, we'd like to be a part of that. I love putting together a good dish where people see it first, they fall in love with it, and then it tastes just as good as it looks. We want to provide the best food in Syracuse that we possibly can, and we want you to leave here talking to your family, your friends about what you had to eat first and foremost, but also our service, and to walk out feeling like you're part of our family. I work out in the front of the house a lot, and I love walking to every single table, asking them how everything is, and people looking at me and smiling and saying, this is the most amazing short rib I've ever had. This is the most amazing filet I've ever had. And Donna is great. Sarah's amazing. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. And them just being truly happy for the experience that they've gotten.
317 at Montgomery Restaurant, part of the fabric of downtown Syracuse, located on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday for a unique and memorable dining experience. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, here with you where sports meets life. Appreciate you being here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, as we have the opportunity to share stories from all around the country and the world. And I appreciate the fact that we have had people here on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, all throughout these many weeks here. So thank you for your support. Thank you for all that you do to be here in the morning and celebrate with us. It means a lot. It goes a long way, and I can't thank you enough for it. So with that being said, I am so happy to have my next guest here with me on the broadcast, and that being Mike Hill joining me, UNC Charlotte Director of Athletics, picture-in-picture this morning, live with me, coming off of the men's basketball team winning a national championship in the CBI. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, I love the Charlotte 49er gear. I like the office right now. Can you tell me why we have certain pieces in the office? Got some things on the wall here. What's the what are the meanings behind maybe a couple things in there?
Well, the jersey behind me over my shoulder is the jersey that was presented to me when I was hired here 5 years ago. So obviously that's super meaningful to me, and just had the good fortune to land this job and really enjoyed it and love living here, love working here. It's a great place to be. And then over my other shoulder is a framed piece to commemorate my participation in the 2009 Boston Marathon. So that was a special achievement and a memory of a lifetime for sure. And was the second of 3 marathons that I've run. I'm a retired marathon runner. I'm not doing that anymore. It requires too much training. But it was a special, special time for sure.
And Mike, when you said, running the Boston Marathon, for you, what did that mean? Because I mean, this is a marathon that's known all over. I mean, this is something that is, I mean, it's just a blessing to be there type of thing. Even just for people to go and watch and be along, the lines of things, and just to get to see people at different parts of the race. What has it meant to you to say that you have been a part of that and a part of such a rich history here in America?
Well, it's definitely one of the coolest things that I've ever participated in, done myself. And look, running any marathon is an accomplishment. I can tell you that. It's, like I said, I've run 3. I've run Nashville, Boston, and Jacksonville. And each one of them, was a different experience. But I mean, Boston is iconic, as you said, and coming down towards the finish line and seeing the throngs of people, cheering. And look, I'm far from a world-class runner. I mean, I ran a good time for me, and I was proud of that. But, as much as anything, this made you feel like you're special, coming around the final corner and the final bend. And so it was awesome. I'll never forget it. I'll also never forget the training that went into all 3 marathons and, all that it takes. I still run, but I don't run marathons anymore. It's a way to stay in shape. It's a way to blow off some steam and release the stress. But, I have a lot of admiration for people who continue to do that, because it takes a lot of time and energy and effort and commitment. And I'm really proud of it.
No, and I appreciate so much, you sharing that today, because, I think people forget when you're a director of athletics that you have a life, right? You have things that you like to do because you are so involved. And, when you're a director of athletics and you care about your school and you care about the student athletes and the coaches and the students in general and the overall experience, it can look as if you don't sleep. So how do you balance being there for all of your sports and showing your face, to not simply show your face, but to actually, try and create relationships? How do you balance that with having your own time and your own peace? And like you said, maybe just going for a jog to kind of clear your mind.
Yeah, well, it's not easy. I can tell you that. There's never a moment of boredom in this chair. There's something that's always going on. The most fun that I have as an AD, of course, is to watch our teams compete, and and to build relationships with our coaches, our staff, our student athletes. I also have a family, as you noted. I have an older son who's a student at the University of Florida, and then my wife and I have 2 little ones. We have a soon-to-be 4-year-old daughter and a 20-month-old son, and so. And I'm a big believer in work-life balance, and I tell our teams up front, you're going to see me a lot. But if I'm not there, there's a really good reason why I'm not there. It's sometimes a Sunday afternoon, I need to spend time with my children and my wife. And, but they're great. I mean, they love being around it. My wife used to work in athletics too. So which is really helpful. She understands and gets what we do. And so, the kids will come out when they can as well and support. But it's never ending. Just today, for example, we've got a doubleheader in baseball that's a critical series for us, and a doubleheader in softball that's equally critical. And yet, right in the middle of those game times, I've got to make a speech to a Rotary Club in South Park here in Charlotte. It's really important that I do that. The doubleheader wasn't scheduled originally when I booked that engagement. And so I'm going to miss part of those games because I'm going to be elsewhere to speak. And that's just how it is. If I could divide myself into 2 people, I could cover a whole lot more, that's for sure. But you can't be everywhere at once. So it's important to be visible. I think coaches and athletes want to see you and feel like you care, even if it's not in every single game.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really important. It means a lot to them just to be there. And so I try really hard to be at as many athletic events as I possibly can. And I was down at football practice this morning. It's just there's always something to do. There's always somewhere you can be, and you just have to do the best you can. But I also think it's critical to make time for yourself and your family. I'm a big believer in recharging batteries, and I emphasize that to our staff here, because when you work in college athletics, you're working evenings, you're working weekends and weeknights. That's when the games are played. Yeah. So you work, a long work day, and then you have games at night or the weekend. So I encourage our people to take time off whenever they can to recharge.
I appreciate that, and I think that's an important message, and probably the most important message we could talk about here today with Mike Hill, UNC Charlotte Director of Athletics. Like I said in the intro here, you're coming off of a CBI National Championship. So, I was looking at this in a very interesting way. The American Athletic Conference, and I spoke with Mike Oresco, the commissioner, about this, is I know you're still a part of Conference USA, and you'll be in the American on July 1st of 2023, so in just a few months here. But to see that 4 out of 6 schools that are coming into the American have either played in the final, in the case of FAU, Final Four, in the case of North Texas and UAB, 100% of the NIT championship game, with one of them winning and one of them being the runner-up. And then in the case of the CBI, you being champions. So 2 out of 3 of the national tournaments in men's basketball are you have national champions coming in. North Texas, a national champion. UNC Charlotte, a national champion. UAB, a runner-up. And FAU, a shot with under 2 seconds left to go of moving on themselves. So I think that says a lot about the strength of what's coming to the American Athletic Conference. I'd love to get your thoughts from your chair, because I know people say, well, it's the CBI, it's not this or it's not that. It's a national championship. You still have to win all the games ahead of you. And I think it's pretty cool to say that there's 2 national champions that are going to be going to the American.
Look, it's really impressive what the schools in our league and Conference USA accomplished this year. And I remember having this conversation with our coach, Ron Sanchez, in the middle of the conference season. And he said, I don't think people realize just how good this basketball league is. He said, they're really good. And he wasn't wrong. I mean, I think that the evidence is pretty clear when you have the results that you just described. And so, really proud of the teams in our league and what they accomplished, and excited that we are moving together to the American, which is also an excellent basketball league, and school, programs that have, a lot of staying power and brand power in basketball. Memphis, Wichita State, Temple, Tulane obviously had a nice team this year. Tulsa's got great history. There's the SMU. I mean, on and on and on. It's a really, really good basketball league. And now you're going to add the 6 of us to the mix, and even Ries, who was another school, they played in the CBI. They lost, but that there's no shame in that. And in terms of our aspirations of the basketball program at Charlotte, our ultimate goal here is to compete for a league title and to go to the NCAA tournament. I don't think anyone's aspiration is to be in the CBI, but that's no disrespect to the CBI. It is hard. It's hard to win tournaments, period. And the 16 teams that were invited, and make no mistake, it's called an invitational because even though, yes, there's an entry fee to participate in it, the business model has nothing to do with the fact that it is an invitational. There were teams that would have loved a chance to continue their season that did not have that opportunity. And so, we looked at it as an opportunity for our young team to get some postseason experience and continue to play. Sometimes you want your season to end. If a team is struggling down the stretch, it's time to put it out of its misery. That wasn't the case here. I mean, we won 8 of our last 11 basketball games, and 2 of the losses, one was a double overtime 2-point loss to UAB, and then a 1-point loss in the conference tournament on a circus 3-point shot. So we were playing good basketball down the stretch, and our guys wanted to play. And lo and behold, we won 4 games, in 5 days. And if you look at the history of the CBI, teams that have won that tournament have gone on to do even bigger and better things in subsequent years in the NIT and the NCAA tournament. So, we're really proud of it. I mean, I think you look at it this way too. There are 362, I think, Division I basketball teams.
Yeah.
Only 68 teams go to the NCAA tournament and 32 go to the NIT. It's 98 teams, or that's 100 teams. And then if you add the 16 to CBI, that's 116 out of 360 who go to the season. When you look at college football, you have 131 FBS football playing members, and 84 of them go to a bowl. Right? So you do the math. I mean, so people want to poke holes at the business model of the CBI. That's fine. I get it. But the bottom line is this, a lot of those bowl games, schools are spending money or losing money to participate in, but they celebrate playing in those games and those postseason opportunities. And this was a great, great opportunity for us. And frankly, to win it and then have the league succeed in the NIT and the NCAA gave us great recruiting exposure because everybody nationally was talking about the accomplishment of all four of us. We were in that grouping. And so we're really proud of it and looking forward to using it as a springboard for even bigger things.
Yeah. And like you said, you look at teams. I mean, I look at going off of what you said, you win the CBI and you look at the success of those teams after that, to follow Memphis winning the NIT and then becoming an NCAA tournament team. So, that plays to your point completely. Here with Mike Hill, UNC Charlotte Director of Athletics. Mike, I have to tell you this if I haven't told you this already. You just so happen to be the Director of Athletics at a school that is in one of my favorite cities in America. And I love Charlotte. I don't think you know this, but I wanted my MLS team. And I had dated somebody years ago and she had her team, so I kind of adopted it. But then a few years back, I said, I need a team. And I wasn't feeling it. And I saw that there was this team that was coming up a couple of years in advance, Charlotte FC. So I've been a Charlotte FC fan since before the first game was played. And I also was at the first Charlotte Hornets game when the Charlotte Hornets returned to Charlotte as the Hornets in the Hive in that overtime game with Kemba Walker. So I got a lot of history with Charlotte. And I just want you to know that I'm a day zero Charlotte FC fan.
Well, I love that. And I'm a Charlotte FC fan, too. I've got friends in that organization. I've been to several of their matches over the last couple of years. And I love all of our pro teams in Charlotte. I mean, I love going to Hornets games and Panthers games and Charlotte Knights games. It's a lot of fun. I will tell you that the Charlotte FC matches are the most fun that I've had at any of those events. It's just every single time the energy, the vibe is amazing. It's a great atmosphere. They draw tremendous crowds. They lead MLS in attendance. It's so much fun, and we're really proud too. We have a Charlotte 49er on the roster, Brant Bronico, who is on the team and is a significant part of that team. And so some good people who run that franchise. And it's been a tremendous addition to this city.
And the thing is, for me, is I do, like I said, I love, and there's something about the state of North Carolina. They treat me really well when I rent cars. They always hook me up. I got this one like economy car, compact car. They put me in a Jeep Wrangler, and then, which was fantastic. And most recently, I wasn't in Charlotte. I was in Greensboro, but they gave me a red Mustang. Just because. So I don't know what it is about the state of North Carolina, but the food is great. People have been very nice. The events have been wonderful. And, I would love for you to just speak to the heart of the city because this is, the Queen City. There's something to be said about the fact that it's growing, it's evolving. There's always, something being constructed and whatnot. And really, if you stay in the city of Charlotte, you can essentially walk to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, to the Carolina Panthers, to the Charlotte Hornets, to Charlotte FC, and obviously with you being there in Charlotte too, with UNC Charlotte, there's so much in such a small area and it's so densely populated and there's some really good food downtown too. So I would love for you to give us a little, through your eyes, how you would paint the picture of Charlotte because it's a special city. And I would say if I was sitting in your chair, I'd be smiling from ear to ear knowing that I get to not only oversee UNC Charlotte, but I get to be in a city that is truly unique and growing.
Look, it is a fantastic, fantastic place to live and work. We've been here for 5 years now. My family and I, we live in the heart of the city. You said it's walkable. It's extremely walkable. I mean, this last Charlotte FC match that we went to, we walked to it. It was a 10-minute walk, there's restaurants, there's breweries, there's all sorts of activity all over the place. This city has grown by leaps and bounds here, particularly over the last 10 to 15 years. And it's remarkable to see. I've had the good fortune, having been born and raised in the Carolinas. I grew up in South Carolina and actually in Clemson, which is about 2.5 hours southwest of here. And I was in Charlotte a lot growing up because I had family in Charlotte. My grandparents lived here, aunts and uncles. So we would take weekend trips to Charlotte all the time. I would spend weeks in the summer up here. And Charlotte was great, but I mean, it was a small city, and it was trying to be more than what it really was. There just wasn't a lot to it, and then the transformation that's occurred has been absolutely mind-boggling. I remember when I was with the Florida Gators, my very first year at the University of Florida, our basketball team made its first ever trip to the Final Four. Obviously, we ultimately went to 5 while I was there, but my first there, we go to the Final Four, and it's here in Charlotte at the old not the old Charlotte Coliseum, but the original Hornets Arena out in Tyvola. And so I remember that the city, because there was such a lack of restaurants and bars in the heart of the city at that time, that was in 1994, that they had to set up basically sort of a hospitality village in the city with, vendors and restaurants and all of that were temporary. Okay. Because that didn't exist really in uptown Charlotte at that time. Well, fast forward to 30 years later now. And I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches, man. It is the quality of restaurants, the number of restaurants, and like I mentioned, breweries and bars and clubs and shopping, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful city. So that coupled with the incredible growth of this city, even though Charlotte is an older city, it's got a lot of history. Yeah, it's a very young city. It's a young city. If you see, it's got a young workforce that's exploded because of the banking industry here in Charlotte. It's the second largest banking center in the nation, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. And so it's a place to live. We're an hour and 45 minutes from the mountains. I have a home up in Blowing Rock that I bought while I was still at Florida 10 years ago. And instead of an 8.5-hour drive, I can get there in under 2 hours, which is pretty nice. Beautiful mountains up there, close to Asheville as well. And then, you're 3 hours from the beach. I mean, and we have an airport where you can fly direct anywhere, with as a hub for American Airlines. So it's hard to find anything negative about living in Charlotte. I'll tell you that. We love it here, and it's a really, really special place to be.
Yeah, and when I talk about it, I fight myself sitting in this chair and not getting on a plane. So, because I feel that. I love the city. UNC Charlotte Director of Athletics, Mike Hill, here with me. You had an interesting hire as your new head football coach, and I would love for you to bring us into the why that you felt that as this team moves forward into the American, that Biff was your guy.
Well, we're really excited about Coach Poggi. In fact, as I mentioned, I was out at practice this morning, and it's exciting to see the transformation of that football team. Look, Biff's story is not typical. For those who don't know his background, he was a longtime head coach at Gilman School, which is a private high school in Baltimore, where he actually played football himself. Biff grew up in a lower middle class, was in and out of trouble as a youth, he would tell you. And finally landed a scholarship to play football at Gilman School, and that changed his life. The headmaster took him under his wing, helped him kind of straighten his life out. He had some success as a football player there, and he realized that he couldn't have afforded to go to that private school without the generosity of somebody else who paid his way to go on scholarship. Yeah. He eventually went to University of Pittsburgh, where he played with Dan Marino, and then he transferred to Duke, where he finished out his football career at Duke. And then became a college coach for a while until he had children. He was an assistant coach at a few stops for a short amount of time. And then he and his wife, Amy, had their first child, and he decided he wanted to coach high school ball so he wouldn't have to be on the road recruiting so much. So he coached high school for quite a while. While he was coaching high school football as an assistant, his father-in-law, who was a Sloan MIT grad, taught him the ropes of investing. And Biff Poggi ended up becoming a highly successful hedge fund manager while being a high school football coach. And he eventually became a head coach at Gilman, as I mentioned, where in 19 seasons he won 13 championships. He then left to go to the University of Michigan to be an assistant coach at Michigan, where his son was playing football, and had a great experience there for that year. They went to the Orange Bowl back in 2016. Well, he got a call from another school in Baltimore, the St. Francis Academy, that was hanging on by a string financially. Predominantly Black Catholic school that was extremely under-resourced, football program in the ditch, and asked him if he'd be willing to come back to Baltimore to lead the program. He agreed to do that and coached that program for 3 years, ultimately leading them to a top 10 national ranking in USA Today and playing games on ESPN. He then returned back to Michigan as the associate head coach for Jim Harbaugh, and was at Michigan for the last 2 years. And if you recall, right before he got there, Michigan was struggling in big time. And Coach Harbaugh called him and said, "We need you, Biff. We need you back here." Others did as well, recruited him to come back. And he did that and made a huge impact. The last 2 years, Michigan was in the CFP, won the Big Ten back-to-back years, as you know, and the rest is history. So, again, his story is very unusual. It's not a typical route, Biff is 62 years old, and so I know that turned some heads when we hired him. But, I mean, the more we dug into his background and learned about him and spoke with him and talked to people like Nick Saban, who he's very close to, and people who we trust in the industry, we felt like the reward potential for us was significant hiring a guy like this, a guy who I see really as a disruptor of the status quo, someone who can be an accelerant to a 10-year-old football program that's competing against other teams that have been playing football for 75 to 100 years.
All right, and I love that, having this young football I mean, you're unique in the fact of the youth of the program, and now you're unique with Biff Poggi being the head coach. So you're definitely going to paint your own canvas and have your own journey, which I think is a beautiful thing. And in a world that lacks originality sometimes, there's a lot of originality with what we're going to see from the Charlotte 49ers as you head into the American. Final note here, you and I have opened a lot of doors. So as always, Mike, I look forward to having you back on soon because there's a lot of things I'd love to talk about. But I do want to, and I gave such a shameless plug to Charlotte that I think I should get a call from the mayor. But beyond that, just a key to the city. I don't ask for much. So, but beyond that, to look at the fact that as you get set to go into the American, you're tasked with a very, advantageous situation, right? And the balance situation of saying goodbye to Conference USA, but saying hello to the American Athletic Conference. So how have you navigated this? Because this starts way before now, and we're here in April. The move is official July 1st of 2023, but we all know that you're not running around trying to get your paperwork together on June 30th. So how has the process been in preparing to become an American Athletic Conference institution?
Well, we, really even before we were officially invited, we prepared for the potential. Taught and looked at sort of comparative analysis of our athletics program to other member institutions in that new league. And we meet on a regular basis. Every month we pull our team together to get updates on where we are, whether it's, facilities or uniforms or assessing budgets to see, as we ramp things up to compete in a league that's a higher resource league. Yeah. And so you're right. It's not just plug and play, when you join a new conference, and this is a step up for us competitively. It will provide us tremendous exposure with the ESPN contract that the American has. So we're excited about that. And our intention, I told Commissioner Resco this from the start, is, look, we're not just going to be happy to be in the league. It's our goal to be a championship contender in every sport we play in. And that's the truth. That's what we mean. So, but it doesn't happen overnight. We've got to generate more resources. There's more attention being paid on the fundraising side to catch us up to where we need to be from an operating budget standpoint. Some of our facilities are beautiful here. They show really, really well. But there's some things we'd like to do to maybe catch us up in a couple of areas to make sure we're competitive in the recruiting front. But we do believe we have a tremendous program to sell here. And we think we're a great fit in this league. It's largely metropolitan-based universities. We're excited. The one who's not based in the metropolitan area is East Carolina, we're thrilled to be in a league with them. It provides us an in-state rival, and they've got a lot of alums in Charlotte, so it'll be a great battle each time we compete with them. But a lot of good stuff happening, and cannot wait for July 1 to get here.
And coming from Mike Hill, the UNC Charlotte Director of Athletics for the 49ers. Mike, as always, it is my pleasure, and I look forward to having you back on very soon.
Thank you so much, Dan. Appreciate it.
I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
You bet.
That coming from Mike Hill once again here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, where sports truly meets that thing. Step aside here on the show, and then it's back to baseball again, as we have 75% of today's show baseball related, and maybe more than 75% if you count the amount, because we have two players coming up here in just a moment in Max and Benji going to be joining me from the Moyne Dolphins baseball program, and always appreciate the Dolphins and everything we get to do in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Moyne College Dolphins. So a lot of great stuff on the Heights and a lot of wonderful things coming up with Max Parker and Benji Ries here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora right after this, where sports
recording
meets that
in
thing called
progress.
life. So very much looking forward to this and the opportunity of having both of these student athletes on the show to join me picture in picture to tell their stories. So always a great time when we get to tell the stories of student athletes as well as coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni, and of course our AD and DT specials with Athletics Director Bob Beretta, and our specials with the President, Dr. Linda Lemura. So a lot of wonderful things coming up here where sports meets life. I
Recording
wake up
stopped.
with Dan Tortora, and we will have Max and Benji on the broadcast right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios.
Cafe Kubal offers the same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond. You can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
This is a special message from Merritt Brady, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Watertown on 1290 Arsenal Street in Watertown, New York.
Chick-fil-A for me has always been about the people. I think it starts with the strength and leadership of the Cathy family. It's just amazing to see a family-run business reach the altitude that they have. Second mile service is something that we embodied at my previous business, and the ability to make people feel like they're the only person at your establishment, that you are there to serve them that day, and looking for those extra ways to make them happy, to anticipate what they need next is what makes me tick. And I'm going to have so many opportunities at Chick-fil-A to do that. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. My favorite application question or interview question when I'm interviewing is when I get to, have you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? And a smile hits both their ears. You know, they can't even answer the question for a second. And when I see that, it's like, man, that's going to be a great hire. They already get it. They already feel it. They already know that we're different. The Chick-fil-A experience, it's a real thing. And then, of course, it's our generosity and community involvement and making a positive impact in the lives of our team members, our guests, and the community in general, I think is really the secret sauce.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal, a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and always appreciate the opportunities that we get to dive into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, alumni, and all of the wonderful people up on the Heights. So I am here picture in picture for a very special Dolphin Dive with Max and Benji of the Moyne College Dolphins baseball team. Gentlemen, how are you this morning?
Good. How you doing?
Doing very well. So first and foremost, congratulations on some recent success here, and definitely appreciate the work that you guys are doing. How's the season been for you? Max, I'll start with you. Just, coming off of some of this recent success, just what your takeaways have been.
It's been great. I've been in recently, and then I just came back. This was my first week back, and it was great to get back out there with the guys, get some wins, just be around the team. The energy was great. It's just great to be back.
And Benji, for you, how have you kind of viewed this season up to this point?
Yeah, it's been good. We came off to a little bit of a slow start to start the year. But the weekend sweep of Franklin Pierce will really help out. So we're kind of rolling right now. We're in the middle of a 3-week home stretch, and I think all the guys are excited to play in front of the fans here. So we're in a good spot.
And you said, obviously, having some positivity and riding a high right now. Why do you feel like the team is where they are at this point in the season? Why are things starting to come through?
Yeah, I think we have a good roster this year. We don't have as many guys as we typically do. I think we're only at 26, but we just don't lose at home. I think last year we went 14-2. I think we really have a lot of confidence when we get to play on our home field. So we have some good depth at all spots, and I think you look at our batting lineup 1 through 9. There's really no holes. And so I think 6 kind of drives off of that, and we got a good group of guys, so excited to go forward.
Matt, you spoke about the fact that you had been injured and you just got back here recently. Bring me into that road going through it, because a lot of people don't talk about the fact that, injuries are physical, but they also can affect your mental. How did you stay focused, and how did you mentally stay healthy as you had to go through the process of getting back out there?
I think the biggest thing for my mental was just going to practice every day, even though I couldn't participate or I couldn't throw because my shoulder was messed up. So going to practice every day, hanging out with the guys, even outside of practice and baseball, hanging out with the guys, constantly talking to them, like talking through with our other pitchers about their pitches and what they're doing, sequencing, things like that. Just trying to stay as active as I could without actually throwing amongst the team was definitely a great help.
And when you said just being around the guys, that helped you, a lot of people talk about family. They say this team is a family, and it's smoke and mirrors. Why do you feel like this team is actually a family? How do you guys live that out every day? Max, I'll start with you on that.
I think more so than years past, this team is a smaller group of guys, but we're more tight-knit. It seems like everybody's friends with everybody, and there's no divide at all, or there's no pitcher hitter divide. Everybody's rooting for each other, constantly supporting each other. If somebody makes a mistake, everybody's picking them up. Everybody's just making sure everybody's in a good headspace. It's just a good environment.
Benji, for you, why do you feel like this team is truly a family? Why from your point of view is it not just words that are said, but actually actions that are done?
Yeah, I think Max hit it on the head. We really are tight knit. Every single kind of age group we have here. It's just the experiences we have off the field that makes it like a family. Playing in games and winning is so much fun, but you really ask guys what they remember the most. And it's the bus drives you have to away games, or a post game meal at Tully's where you're coming off a big win. All guys are heading out for dinner. It's just a lot of fun off the field with these guys that just makes it such a blast to be a part of.
Benji, you said post game at Tully's, so I got to ask you two questions, and these are very important questions, and I'm sure Coach is going to watch this and focus in on it. Best meal that you get at Tully's, number one, and two, are the best tenders in the world?
They are phenomenal tenders, probably the favorite I've ever had. And as for your first question, honestly, I might be the wrong guy to ask. I'm a plain eater. Anybody on the team knows it. So my go-to order is just the regular Tully's tenders. There's sometimes a challenge to get all 10 down the hatch, but you go for it.
Okay. Max, what about you?
Oh, I'm an Asian tender guy all day.
Okay.
And I think they are the best tenders for sure.
This is the thing, though, and it's no offense to Tully's. I like really crispy, and I like when like the breading has some pepper in it. So they do it differently than that. They kind of bread their tenders like you would bread fish. So it's a little bit different, but you guys like it though. Who do you think is the fastest eater on the team?
That's a tough one. Yeah, probably Kenan Smith.
Okay, would you agree, Benji?
Yeah, fastest might be Kenan. The guy who might be able to eat the most might be Wyatt.
Okay.
Yeah, battle between the two.
How is Coach with all of it? Is Coach a slow eater, fast eater? Where's Coach at?
I think he's in the middle somewhere. If he's got to put something down quick, I think he will. But he usually takes his time and enjoys his food. Fair
enough. I like it. Now, I was talking earlier on in the show about the fact of what I was doing at 2 a.m. this morning. So I want you guys to know this, and as baseball players, I'm sure you can appreciate this. I was past 2 a.m. I'm an Arizona Diamondbacks fan, as my shirt suggests, and I was looking at their farm system hats, and we know that there's crazy team names and there's crazy logos and all that stuff. At 2 whatever this morning, I was trying to figure out whether or not I should rock an Amarillo Sod Poodles hat. So I have to ask you guys what you think about the farm system, and do you like the crazy names and jerseys and all of that, and do you dive into it? Because obviously I know you guys are fans of Major League Baseball, so do you dive into that world of an Area 51 or a Sod Poodle? Max, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about that world, and what do you think about the fact that at 2 o'clock in the morning, when I could have been doing anything, including sleeping, I was looking up hats for AAA baseball and AA and whatever else was out there?
I mean, I love like the weird logos and team names and stuff, and I like that the jerseys and hats are like a little wackier, they catch your eye. I think that helps like draw in some attention towards like the farm system programs. So I definitely think that's good.
Benji,
well, I don't really follow minor leagues too much.
Benji, with teams called the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp and so on and so forth, do you get around it? Do you enjoy it? Or do you just think it's
I love it. You bring up shrimp. I actually 2 years ago in the summer played for a team called the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. So I'm very familiar with those kinds of team names. But yeah, like Max said, I love it. It keeps it fun, it keeps it light. You want to talk about fun colors on jerseys or wacky names and team mascots. I think it's great.
So to get back to your season, and Benji, I'm going to keep with you here. Personally, with these games that you played up to this point, where have you seen the improvement from yourself? Where in your game are you really starting to see something that maybe you've been working on for a few years or a few months that is finally starting to come through?
Yeah, I'll say one thing that I've really tried to focus on this year has been my pitch sequencing behind the plate. Catching guys like Max makes it. Max is such an easy guy to catch, but just in general, kind of going through the pitch arsenal of a guy, looking at what hitters have done in the past. Our coaching staff this year has really helped out with scouting reports on guys we're facing, and so have really just diving into the nitty gritty. How can we get these guys out with what the guy has on the mound? That's been a lot of fun this year.
And like you said, I mean, you have a unique experience of how you both get to interact with each other so much in a game. What can you say your chemistry has been like? And Benji, I'll stay with you for this. How would you describe the chemistry that you and Max have built?
Yeah, it's been great. I think we're pretty locked in every time we go out there each inning. Like I said before, Max makes me look good back there. He's such an easy guy to catch. But I love catching Max. Really just being able to throw any pitch in any count, get hitters off balance. I think we've been pretty locked in.
Did you always want to be a catcher? Was that always, kind of the plan, or did you have a different vision?
I've always caught since I started playing baseball. The earliest picture I think I ever have on a baseball field is in T-ball, where I was wearing the catcher's gear. And the reason why I love that is because there's no pitcher in T-ball. You're hitting the ball off the tee. And I think I just love putting the gear on, just spending time back there behind the plate. So I've always been catching.
And for you, Max, when you have this bond with Benji, and you guys have to know each other well, because essentially from the mound to where, Benji is behind the plate, you guys are telling each other secrets, essentially, and you have to figure out a way to communicate those secrets without the batter being ready for it. So what can you say about how you and Benji have developed maybe your own language to understand each other?
I think Benji and I have worked together so much at this point that we're on the same page majority of the time. If he's calling a pitch, there's maybe once or twice a game when I'm shaking off to throw something else that I'd rather throw, but for the most part we are on the exact same page because we've just done it so many times together and we're thinking the same thing. We both have similar ideas about the batters, the scouting report, so we're both just on the same page pretty much the entire time.
How quickly did the friendship develop between the two of you? Like how easily did you bond to be prepared for this? Because you can't really play the game the way that you guys play the game in the positions that you're in if you don't have that relationship off the field.
Oh, it's real easy. Of course, it started on the field. When Benji came in last year as a freshman, I met him, got to get to know him a little bit, throw a couple bullpens to him, and then from then on, it's just the rest is history. We're around each other every single day, working together every single day, hanging out outside of baseball as well. It was easy. It was like second nature.
Did you always want to be a pitcher, Max?
Yeah. I'm left-handed, so it was kind of just like when I was young, my dad was like, "Hey, you should try pitching." Being a left-handed pitcher it's rare. It's a good thing to be. I was like, okay. And I also played outfield growing up. And I always like pitching more because I like being in control, kind of.
Here this morning with Max and Benji from the Moyne College Dolphins baseball team in this very special Dolphin Dive on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. Max, I'll stay with you on this, and Benji, I'd love to get your thoughts as well. You guys traveled at the beginning of the season, and you were in North Carolina, you were in South Carolina, over in Pittsburgh and whatnot. You had to have some adversity early and kind of learn some things about yourselves. I know, what you started when you were down at the Ripken experience in Myrtle Beach, started with a loss, turned around with 3 straight victories. What was it about those early season games that you feel like has maybe helped this team to win now? What happened then that's helping the team to benefit now? Max, I'll start with you.
Well, those early season games were like our first times outside. So we were, obviously all of us were a little rusty, a little out of practice because in Syracuse, New York, we have to practice indoors for all the winter pretty much. But the thing that we did really well that helps us now and helps us win all these games today is when we would get down in those games, our team would stay up and our team would continue to fight. And we'd battle back and we lost. Of course, we lost a bunch of them by like 1 or 2 runs, but we kept the fight going and we never like rolled over and gave up once we were down 4-0 or something. We would always continue to try and chip away and try and get back into the game. I think that's really important.
And I appreciate that. And Benji, for you, from your perspective, what did those early games do for you personally, as well as, for the team to go through being on the road and going, having some moments of adversity to kind of work the kinks out and do it away from home? Because like you guys said, you win at home, you know how to take care of home. So what was it about starting on the road that you think is so beneficial right now?
Yeah, we went through the exact same thing last year. We started off slow, to start off the year. But I think just understanding that we are a good team, that these losses don't define us, even though that we were losing the game at the end of the day, we were playing some good baseball. And of course, there's some things that we could work on. But at the end of the day, we like the guys that we have. We knew we have a squad that can win now. And just staying together, making sure you keep that family connection, understanding that, these games didn't go the way they wanted to, but we've been through this before and we're going to get over the hump. We knew that you just give us some time and we're going to get back on the right side of this thing.
And you guys are going to be at Dick Rockwell Field for a bit here now. You got games coming up this Friday, a doubleheader at noon and 3. You have games on Saturday at noon and 3 as well. And then we'll see you the following Saturday and Sunday against the College of St. Rose. So a lot before you head back on the road on April 22nd. Why should people come out to Dick Rockwell Field and see this team? Benji, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I just think we play exciting baseball. Dick Rockwell Field always gives interesting games for fans to watch with the win. You want to talk about having 5, 6, 7 home runs in a game where the wind's going out, or an absolute pitcher's duel if it's flip side coming in hard and it's cold. It's always something exciting at the field, and I think it's just a great watch.
Max, for you, why is Dick Rockwell Field so special?
I think it's just a great environment. Having friends and family up on the hill, wrapped around the field, it creates an environment that's not like any of the other fields we play at. There's no hill down the left field line with students and families like screaming and cheering for you. Anywhere else we go, the energy here is just different.
Final note from you both. Since we do rapid fire on the show, I'm going to take myself out of it. I want you guys to rapid fire each other. So Benji, you can ask Max any question in the world. Could be baseball related, could be anything about life. And, no pressure. We're just live on video and audio worldwide. So Benji, you can ask Max anything, and Max gets to retaliate by asking you whatever he wants. So Benji, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we'll stick with the baseball theme here. I'll ask Max as a pitcher, if you could face one hitter in history from the big leagues or anyone else, you face one guy, who are you facing?
Barry Bonds. All right, Benji, what's your favorite food?
Oh, favorite food, gotta go with the bagel. Bagel with cream cheese. Shout out Brugger's Bagels. Sign me up with that NIL deal, please. Love the bagel.
I appreciate your love for bagels, but there's a bunch of have you ever had an egg bagel or no?
I've not actually, no.
Okay, well, we need to hook you up with that. I also want to tell you guys this really quick, since we're talking about food. Right down the road from you at Mother's Cupboard, I got my own sandwich. So you guys talk about NIL deals. Bacon, egg, and cheese, and the breading is French toast instead of regular bread.
That sounds awesome.
That's what you guys need to try. And if you like bagels, Benji, you got to get an egg You got to get an egg everything bagel. It's an everything bagel, and an egg bagel had a baby. They have them in New York City, and I think I got it at North Babylon on Long Island. And so it's an egg everything bagel with, I never get cream cheese, but when I'm in New York City, I do, or Long Island, and I got walnut raisin cream cheese on it. That's a game changer. Good. It's a game changer.
That is a game changer.
So with that being said, we have 2 game changers here with me today. For Max, for Benji, gentlemen, thank you for this. I look forward to seeing you this weekend because I'll be out there at Dick Rockwell. So I look forward to seeing you guys in person. I thank you for taking some time with me today, and I wish you all the best moving forward. I'm so happy that this team is, clicking as the season's gotten deeper. You guys have gotten better, and I'm very proud that you're representing Lemoyne because it means a lot to the community. It means a lot to me. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
All right, take care. Talk with you soon.
All right.
Yeah, guys. That coming once again from Max and Benji here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and we appreciate having them here on the broadcast. Tremendous job that they did, and I can't even believe we're at the end. We're at the end of the show. I mean, this is, it was like 4 shows they've done, right? Winning their first ever baseball game in their history here in their inaugural season. And then Scott Landers coming on, the longtime coach of Oswego State baseball, and sharing with me his team's journey and, experiencing the game through his 9-year-old son, as well as, seeing this team have a change of the guard with so many players finishing up their eligibility in college, and now him having to move forward with this team and seeing the growth and seeing what they do. And then Mike Hill and I talking about a beautiful city in Charlotte and a wonderful institution in UNC Charlotte that is young, so they have a very unique approach to the world of athletics, which I think is really, really cool. I love originality. And then you look at, Max Parker and Benji Ries here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora discussing Moyne Dolphins baseball and each other and having that really cool relationship of pitcher to catcher and how they have to speak, essentially a hidden language so that they can be successful together and have that really good relationship. So this has been an incredibly rewarding show for me and a lot of fun. We're going to take a step aside for our final fast break. We'll wrap up the show right after this. I can't believe it's going to be Friday tomorrow, but we'll talk about it right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets life. Appreciate you being here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And so thankful that we had the opportunity to be here with you today and speak with so many tremendous, tremendous people and talented people, great people to have here on the show. And I think we made history here with the most baseball that we have ever had in a single broad. Now, we've talked baseball wall to wall, but the most baseball guests here and the historical connection to this, the connection that Max and Benji have from pitcher to catcher, the, Scott Landers and his history, Shawn Peake and making history with his team winning their first ever game in program history here in their inaugural season, winning against Penn State Scranton. So some really beautiful things here. And then you have Mike Hill and the story that he gets to tell with UNC Charlotte is such a beautiful thing. So today has been an absolute treasure, as so many days have. We appreciate you tuning in every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/livenowdt, and of course by finding us here on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So however you connect with the show, thank you so much for being here with us where sports truly meets that thing called life. Can't thank you enough for connecting here with us. And once the shows go live, they jump into the archive. We've added a bunch to the archive this week. We have been on the road, on site, on location with the wonderful, wonderful Liverpool girls and boys lacrosse teams with their head coaches and student athletes. And we've gotten to do some live broadcasts at Avicoli's this week. We want to thank Avicoli's for their great food, their hospitality, and the wonderful time that we all had. I implore you to go back and listen and watch those. We have video versions of the interviews and audio versions. So the audio version is available on all of the outlets you're seeing on your screen, and for the most part, and the video ones are on YouTube. So if you are looking for those Liverpool specials or anything that we have done that we've added here to the archive, you could simply go to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Big time thanks to all of our wonderful partners in Central and Upstate New York. I want to thank you all for your support, your love, and your positivity. A big shout out to Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Witty Wicks, Avicoli's, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Watertown, Great Lakes Honda City, Mother's Cupboard, where I have that sandwich I was talking about with Max and Benji before the break. A fantastic, fantastic spin on the breakfast sandwich, and it is so good. And I can't sit here and say that I'm biased because many of you have gone out and got this sandwich, and I appreciate you going out and doing that. So you can get it by going to 3709 James Street in Syracuse, New York, to Mother's Cupboard. It is available 7 days a week exclusively at Mother's Cupboard, so make sure you get out there and try it today. It is called the Cuse McMother, and it is my spin on the breakfast sandwich, which features bacon, egg, and cheese inside of French toast. Go out and get it today. You can cut it up and eat it with syrup, or you can pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. It's got cinnamon sugar on top of it as well. Very good. So make sure you get out there and get it. 317 at Montgomery Street. I spoke about them a lot in today's broadcast because their food is absolutely fantastic. So make sure you head out there and try their food today. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you, and I appreciate you doing that. Head out to 317 at Montgomery Street in downtown Syracuse. The name of the location is the name of the restaurant. So we look forward to seeing you out there. And of course, we do an exclusive series called Downtown with Dan, where I test the menu and bring that to you with great conversation with owner Joel Carpenter. We talk about a lot of things. We speak about the food. We talk about the community, sports, entertainment. So it's an entertaining show with great food. You get to see it, and you get to see me sample it. So we have a lot of fun with that. And then you can come in and try it for yourself at 317 at Montgomery Street in downtown Syracuse. I do suggest that you get yourself a reservation for 317 at Montgomery. So all you have to do that is to simply get in touch with them at 315-214-4267. That's 315-214-4267. 4267. So make sure you call them today. Canine Campground Dog Boarding, perfect place to bring. I don't think there's any other place to bring your furry loving friends. When it comes to a dog having a home away from home, Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, both in East Syracuse, are the only places I would trust with Lily. And I love the work that Lorraine and Chad and the team do over there. Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Pizza Man, and we are also the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Moyne College Dolphins. It is Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Catch your Dolphins with us on Wednesdays during Dolphin time, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time to start off the broadcast. But this week we have done special upon special upon special with the Dolphins, so you've gotten a lot of bonus Dolphin dives. You can catch all of our content by going to the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com, which has all of our Lemoyne coverage, and it consistently grows. So when we do a live show here, we have our Wednesday Dolphin time, and we're showcasing something. After we do it for you for the first time ever on the live feed, then it'll go to the archive. So you'll get it at the Lemoyne page on wakeupcalldt.com. You'll get it on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe as well. Big shout out to President Dr. Linda Lemira, Athletics Director Bob Beretta, and all of the wonderful coaches and student athletes that I have had the pleasure of speaking with, as well as everybody in general that I've talked to on site. I'm so blown away by Lemoyne. I am. To have one good person in one area is a good thing. To have many, where good people are the majority, that is, that's unique and it's special. And Lemoyne's campus is filled with hardworking, unique, original, positive, good souls, and I love being around them. So make sure you go and check them out, support their teams. The softball teams and the baseball teams have double headers tomorrow and Saturday. So this weekend, Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th, you got more than enough baseball and softball to see on the Heights. You don't have to go that far, so make sure you go out and support them and all of their sports. And, of course, for more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com. I'm notorious for letting that music play because I love it so much. So I'm so happy that this is the music that I found. I'm proud to find it to have it for the Bobcat Buzz. So thankful to have you here with our Bobcat stories every single month. And we've gotten to do so much with the Bobcats. We've had Shawn Peake on a bunch of times here recently, including today. First time Maximo Santos has made it. We're going to do another roundtable with the team, which I'm really looking forward to. A lot of great stuff with the Bobcats. Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse on James Street. Can't miss it. It's on the main road, on the hill. Head over there. If you're looking to finish your education, if you have more eligibility to give, or both, then look no farther than Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. Definitely check out all of our specials. The BSC Syracuse tab is on wakeupcalldt.com exclusively, and the Bobcat Buzz is exclusive to everything we do with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. You can catch all of our content on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And, of course, you could search Bobcat Buzz to find it there. So make sure you do that. Click subscribe. And for more information on your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. So, this has been a phenomenal show. I honestly feel like I was an innocent bystander to incredible people. I feel very blessed and humbled to be in a room with Shawn Peake, Scott Landers, Mike Hill, as well as Max Parker and Benji Ries, albeit virtually. We were all together this morning, and we got to share some really cool stories and awesome moments. So I can't wait to see Max and Benji this weekend. I look forward to speaking with Mike very soon. I can't wait to see my buddy Scott Landers in many years, and I can't wait to give Shawn Peake a giant hug because I'm so proud of him. So with that being said, this is all brought to you inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin'. So let's be real about this, folks. There's no better snacks, especially to bring to a baseball, softball game, or any sport. There's no better snacks than Ma and Pa's. 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. If you need to pick up your Easter stuff, they have pre-made baskets. I put pictures on our social media. So they have pre-made baskets as well as a bunch of treats that you can make into your own basket, or you could buy one of their holiday tins. So get out there for your Easter surprises for your loved ones today. 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. If you're as cool as my parents, you're going to Ma and Pa's because they got the best snacks. So go out there and do that today. My parents always put the best snacks together. So shout out to Ma and Pa's. Much love to the Bell family, to JoJo and the whole team out there at Ma and Pa's. I love you all, and I appreciate all the work you're doing always, especially how you just jump into every holiday and really enjoy it. So Easter is well spent at Ma and Pa's. Trust me on that. And their new premium kettle corn, the Elvis, fantastic. I just finished it pretty much. I got a couple pieces left. I'm about to go back and get myself some more banana flavored kettle corn with peanut butter drizzle on it, and it's Reese's peanut butter. Like, folks, there's snacking, and there's snacking correctly. And you snack correctly at Ma and Pa's. So make sure you get out there today. Find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. And I will see you tonight because we have done the trifecta. I have been live, and live. So we will be live tonight at the Wildcat. And speaking on the theme of baseball, it continues tonight. The West Genesee Wildcats baseball program with their head coach will be joining me for a live broadcast at the Wildcat tonight, April 6th at 6 p.m. Very easy to remember. April 6th, 6 p.m., the Wildcat Sports Pub, 3680 Melton Avenue in Camillus, New York. We'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock, and we'll see you online on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. In the meantime, have a fantastic day. God bless. No stress. Do your best. What does that mean, Dan? God bless means remember, you come from God and God loves you. No stress? Well, how do I have no stress, Dan? It's my way of saying minimize your problems and celebrate your day. Do your best, as self-explanatory as it can be. Your best is good enough for God, and it's good enough for you. To the people it's not good enough for, they're not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. So always do your best and know that that is enough. The only time it's not enough is when you don't do your best. But when you do your best, you've always done enough. God bless you all. I'll talk with you soon.